Hi everyone, today we're going to take a look at the full moon chart for the October 17th full moon 2024. It's 7:26 a.m. Eastern time, but times will vary. This is a psychic or intuitive reading. So I have studied astrology for many years, for decades, but I do like to color outside the lines as I use it as a jumping off point to get messages and downloads from my guides. So it's not always necessarily by the book, but it's always by my highest guidance, because I believe that astrology, tarot, spiritual development, all of it is a never-ending process. So nothing is ever set in stone. If things were set in stone, then nothing would progress, okay? Anyways, before we get rolling here, my name is Vickie Verlie, and you can find me at vickieverlie.com. Do not be fooled by imposters. This is the only way to contact me if you would like to get a reading or whatever the case, because I will not be contacting you through social media. Those are frauds. Okay, let's get rolling here. So we're going to take a look at the full moon in Aries. This is going to be, it's pretty interesting. Of course, the thing that grabs me right off is that it is conjunct with Chiron. So Chiron is that wounded healer. Chiron's been in Aries. A lot of people have been really diving in this last year or so, this little, I'm not exactly sure on the time right off the top of my head, but people have been. We've been doing this self-reflection. You know, therapy is something that's come really out in the forefront. It's not hidden in the background, you know. Therapy is definitely a thing that a lot of people talk about these days, or in the very least, like self-help and different things like that. It's not all woo-woo and whatever. And this full moon, it's like it's your the Aries energy is your personal journey, because the Aries rules the first house, okay? So it's your personal journey. It's your outlook on life. It's how you walk down the road in this incarnation, the road that you're walking down. And you're seeing it from your point of view. So with the Chiron and Aries, we've all been in this energy or this mode of really maybe looking at ourselves a lot, you know, closer, but because we want to do the healing work. The thing about the Aries energy, though, is that it wants it quick, fast, now. And as you know, just like I said in the intro about how spiritual development and diving into the different divination arts is an ever-evolving thing, you know, so is self-discovery and spiritual, you know, the healing energies. So it's not, maybe not coming as fast as you would like. But the other thing that I'm picking up here, if there's some area where you may feel like you've been stuck, there could be, in this full moon light, there could be this big awareness as the full moon shines the light down on, you know, and you can get that singular thing. You can get that singular download into your head. You know, you can really grab it and get it, okay? The other thing in this particular chart, now this part of fortune is conjunct pretty tight orb with this moon here. Now that's going to really vary from location to location. That's only for the New York chart, because that's like an astrological calculation. But, you know, that is something really cool and really positive. And I feel like, you know, it's definitely bringing in those blessings. It's bringing in those blessings. We're also getting into those last several degrees. It's at 24. The part of fortune is 26. Uranus 26. Neptune 27. Pluto with Venus 29. You know, the sun at 24. We've got, you know, Mars is getting up there at 22. Jupiter at 21. So we're getting into the finishing off and this finishing of cycles that have been going on for different things. You know, each planet carries a different cycle, a different, you know, duration of their cycle. But it's a full moon. It's culmination. It's going to be the last one of the last ones. We'll have one more in the spring, but we're also finishing off this whole thing of the Aries Libra, you know, axis, the Aries Libra back and forth. And again, my outlook, and then this is the other. This is the partner. These are the other people in my life. These are the partnerships. This is the thing that's mirrored back to me. The Libra energy. That's what's being shown to me through the actions of others that mirrors back to me, and where I can heal myself. So that's all pretty cool and pretty interesting here. Now, let's see. It is sextiling. It's sextiling with the Jupiter, and then the sun is trine Jupiter, only off by a couple degrees. So that's also really cool energy. That could really bring in some positive vibes, as Jupiter is positive vibes. as Jupiter is the ruler of the natural ruler of the ninth house, which is having these higher discoveries, having these big understandings, these higher discoveries of ourselves, getting outside of the regular monkey mind and exploring new territory, wanting to learn, wanting to have spiritual growth, wanting to take it to the next level of whatever the case may be here, and wanting to learn, because Jupiter is the ruler of the ninth, which is also learning, higher learning, beyond what was taught to us in our everyday, environment growing up. The 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic, as they used to say. Beyond that, into, I'm hearing the outer limits. Do not adjust your TV. Do not adjust your screen. This is. It's the outer limits, baby. Yeah, so the outer limit energy. But I was not going to say that. I already forgot what I was going to say, but yeah. My guides they've got a good sense of humor sometimes here. The thing that's interesting or maybe could be a little rough spot in a way, is it's squaring with the Mars. Both the Sun and Moon, this whole opposition, this 24 degrees is squaring down here with the Mars at 22 degrees of Cancer, right? So this is, Mars brings in the, it can bring in that, my guides are saying, the attitude. It can bring in the attitude for sure. But it can bring in, excuse me, frustration, anger. Mars is the god of war, And squares bring up friction, anger, because they're not in flow with each other. One goes this way and one goes this way. It's rah, 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 rah. Now, Cancer's also, the Cancer energy can be really moody. And Cancer, the moon itself, not every planet, every sign has a ruling luminary. It's not always a planet. But Cancer rules, the moon is ruled, the ruler of Cancer, I should say. So, any lunar event, new moon and full moon, first quarters, all that stuff, Cancer energy really is in the thick of it because it's ruled by the moon. So that Mars is escalating. That Mars is expanding anyway, flaring up, my guides say. So it's flaring up. Mars is passion, though, too. Mars could be like, I'm feeling like, well, what my guides just came through with was you could be putting your foot down. You might be putting your foot down. And that could be a thing. But the Mars energy also can be, let's get motivated. I'm putting my foot down. I'm not, doing the dishes can wait, or mowing the lawn can wait, or doing the fall cleanup in the yard can wait. I want to do what I'm passionate about. If I could put that off for a day, put down your to-do list, and or whatever is causing the friction. I know in some cases, we just can't. You got to go to work, or you have kids, you got to take care of those kids. But it's like being able to carve out that time to do what really matters to you. Because that's a lot of what the node energy is about, and that's a lot of where the healing energy will come from and come through, is doing what you really love. Because then you're in a state of, you're not frustrated. When you're doing something you love, you're not frustrated. And even if you meet up with something frustrating, at least me, but I'm a Capricorn, and I have a Capricorn, I have a bunch of Virgo on my chart, so it's a problem. Problem solving doesn't, I won't put it down if it's problem solving. It's just like, it's another hurdle I have to get over, or that's going to get me to the next level. Like, I'm thinking of it as far as like, creative stuff for me, because that's my jam. I do a lot of creative stuff. But like music, it's like, oh, I'm trying to play this thing, and it's frustrating, but then when I finally work it out, it's like, oh, I did it, and then I've got that under my belt now. Or just like learning stuff in art, I was getting really into portraiture for a while. I haven't been messing with it too much lately, but every time that show, I love that show. If anybody's ever seen the Portrait Artist of the Year, it's a UK show, but we get it here like later, like a year later, and they haven't come out with a new one in a while, but every time I watch that show, I get so motivated when they come out with a new season. It's like, oh, and I see all the great portraiture techniques that they're using, so I want to get into it. I mean, I guess I could seek it out on YouTube. I'm sure there's a ton of stuff, but I just haven't. But anyways, and then at first it looks kind of funky. It doesn't look good. It looks like, ooh, it's all blotchy, or it just doesn't look good. But then I keep working it and keep working it and getting that technique. But that takes time, A lot of times it's like, well, if it's not taking care of things, if it's not bringing you money, or if it's not this, or if it's not that, then it can wait. No. Your soul is crying out for it to be now. Saturn in Pisces, Neptune at 27 degrees. That's the thing that the big crisis that we all went through, the pandemic, that's the thing that it showed us. Because so many people got back to doing what they really loved and what they really wanted to do. And they put down this facade that you just get caught up in that rat race, and you're just going, doing. So many people switched gears and switched careers and everything. And even if you didn't switch career, it doesn't even necessarily have to be related to career at all. But they started doing, I started painting again on the pandemic. Even though I was busy, I was doing a lot of readings then. It was business as usual. Business was booming, actually, during that time. But I found time to paint. I was doing the painting, and it helped me. It made me feel better. You have to have that time, and that's the other thing about the Libra stuff. That's the Libra end of the Aries Libra axis, because Aries is just go, drive, do, go. And punch Mars is Aries too. That's another thing. Not only is the full moon the ruler as the moon, Cancer, but the Mars is the ruler of Aries, so I think that's mutual reception. Not quite for sure, but it doesn't really matter. There's multiple layers of energy exchange going on there, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, but the Libra is always about finding that balance. Finding that balance. You can't be all work, pound, and then, you got to find that, something to counterbalance that, something to, with me it's my eyes here lately. I've been staring at tablets so much. I got to get out and look at the nature, look at the trees, get my eyes off of screens. But anyways, now there's a bunch more to talk about here, because, well, this is the thing that grabbed me when I opened it. Look at this, 29 of 36 and 29 of 39. 29 of Scorpio for the Venus, and then Pluto at 29 of Capricorn. So we know all about Miss Pluto here. We've been dealing with that. We've talked about it a lot, and it's opposing the Mars. We'll talk about that in a minute, but I just want to focus on just this, because I just feel like this is such powerful transformation. And Venus here's another, Venus, it's not a mutual reception, but Venus in Scorpio, Pluto is the ruler of Scorpio. You can see that illustrated down here. I'm having trouble moving this because I usually use this finger and I have a Band-Aid on it, so I'm having trouble moving my stuff around. But anyways, yeah, so again, just intensifying that energy flow. It's ruler, and 29, they're locking in at that 29. They're locking in at that critical degree. That's that maximum intensity. And Venus in Scorpio is pretty maximum intensity to begin with. I have that natally. So I know everybody's like hating on Venus and Scorpio, but I have it natally, so I have a connection with it, I think. But anyways, yeah, so this is like super intense, but it's super intense of the power of transformation. That's what my guides are saying. It's a tool for transformation. It's a tool as these nodes are finishing up. There's so many things finishing up the cycles. I've mentioned this in the tarot readings. I always have these little cards around when I'm doing readings. I know I could computerize it all, but I just like having these little visual aids. And I always make up cards for all the transits. Now this is going to be the planetary changes next year. Here's what we had 2024, first of all. You had Jupiter change sign, that happens every year. And then the other big transit was Pluto going in and out of Capricorn. That was it. Here's what's coming up in 2025. I'm offering those readings too if you want to look at all this and more as far as it pertains to you, but just how much is being finished up here. We've got the nodes are changing signs, Neptune's changing signs, Saturn's changing signs, Jupiter's changing signs, Uranus is changing signs, and then they're going to retrograde back in. But this is this final completion of all these. There's so many cycles that are coming to completion at this time, and that's the 29 degrees, because if you're not familiar, any sign starts at 0 and then it goes through 29. 29 being the last degree, it's the critical degree. It's go time. It's now or never. It's now or never on all this Pluto stuff for sure, because it's going to be over 200 years before it comes back. I mean, some of us might be here, but we won't be in this incarnation anymore. Well, who knows? You know, with medical technology, maybe somebody that's really young right now, they could live 200 years. I mean, who am I to say? But for the, you know, from the vantage point of where we're at, where we sit right now, you know, most people aren't going to be around for that. So it's this finishing up cycle. And it's so intense because it's coming at so many things. So then the Uranus is at 26. The Neptune is at 27. These are all these planets that are going to be changing signs next year. You know, and the Pluto. And then the Venus and Mars change sign a lot, but they're also in the mix. I want to back up too, because we were talking about Mars. And I guess I didn't catch this right off, but we actually do kind of have a grand cross here with a 5-degree orb. So we've got, but Pluto is definitely opposing the Mars, and that can definitely be some very volatile energy, all right? And then you bring in that fire. It's not a fire sign, but that Venus at 29 Scorpio, I'm getting like it's this fiery energy. It's adding fuel to the flame, adding fuel to the fire. And you know, Mars is getting dampened out by this Cancer energy. It doesn't like it. You know, it's like throwing water on the fire. And here comes Pluto, and it's just like, whew, you know, it could be very combustible. So the thing that my guides are saying, it's the power from within, and that's the key. And that's one of the key things of Pluto that is often overlooked. Pluto and Scorpio energy, because Venus is in Scorpio, and even Cancer. But to this powerful transformation from within, going into the underworld. You know, it's not really the subconscious mind, it's probably more Pisces that's the subconscious mind, but Scorpio has that energy for sure. Scorpios are the detectives. Scorpios are the, you know, death doesn't faze them. You know, they're there. They'll go into those reaches and those realms of the underworld, or into the subconscious mind, or into the shadow, going into that shadow work, you know, going into those deep, dark crevices. It's like Halloween time, you know. Wah-ha-ha-ha-ha. It's like a week off from Halloween in the United States, so it's like, yeah, let's go into that deep, dark place. But through that, there's so much power for transformation. So you don't have to come at it with fear. It's like, oh no, Pluto's gonna get. And I go there too. I'm not knocking anybody. I'm laughing along with you. I mean, I get there too. Oh no, what's this going to happen? That going to happen? When that Jupiter, that Gemini mind takes over, or we're just speeding forward and not, you know, when the Aries energy, we're speeding, and we're not absorbing, you know, this whole thing, because there is some kind of beauty and grace in it all. My guys just said, embrace the grace. Yeah, embrace the grace. I've got to write that down. Sorry, I'm just going to have to grab my phone and write it down, because otherwise I will forget it. I'm sorry. If I don't write it down, and I don't watch the thing again, and I won't remember, I don't want to watch the whole video again. I'm sorry. Just give me a second. Embrace. I can just write it on a piece of paper. Here, I have a little sheet of paper here. Embrace the grace, because I like that. I might make a t-shirt, huh? Yeah, but this is a time to do that, to embrace the grace. Because there is grace in it. You can go through it with dignity. And with Capricorn and Scorpio energy, dignity are both very much part of that gem, part of that energy, part of that, their makeup, and part of what they aspire towards. Aries, not so much all the time. You know, they're just fast. They want to go fast. They want to be the first, you know. Not knocking on the Aries, you know. They have many great qualities, and this is also, you know, like with age comes wisdom kind of a thing, you know. And because this is also part of this whole, the last, you know, they're seasoned. It's a soul energy that's been seasoned, that lives to the twilight of their years. That's what my guides are saying. So there is this wisdom, this grace, this seasoning this taking in the northern hemisphere. It's autumn, one of my favorite seasons. And, you know, the leaves haven't really started turning yet, but they're getting there. And I always marvel in the beauty of it all, you know, and they go, you know, they go willingly into that dark night. They're happy. I always love, there's this place, what's called something else, but everybody calls it the Valley. And it's just many, many miles of road, and it's just this like park system, and you could just drive through. And, you know, I always got to take several rides through the valley, and I always marvel in how it feels like they're all waving goodbye to me, happily, like, we're off to our next, you know. So they're not hanging on or taking any baggage with them, and they're giving forth their best. They're bursting with beauty and color, and they're just really, you know, like a firework exploding, and then it diminishes to nothing. But it's all part of the cycle. You know, it's all part of that never-ending cycle. So this is where we're at now. We could take a clue from the trees, the leaves on the trees, you know, take a clue from them and be like, you know, yeah, there's some things that are going to be let go of. But, you know, you chose to incarnate at this time. We all did. And so we're meant to be a part of it. We wanted to be a part of it. We wanted to marvel and revel in it. That's what my guides are saying. Yeah. Ooh, well, I like that. I definitely have a major feeling of peace that's just come over me just in this last couple of minutes by speaking those words. And that's another thing, you know, with the Gemini. Sometimes you do want to speak those words. Sometimes you do want to say those mantras, speak those words. Because that can be very powerful. That's a way of bringing something into the 3D reality by speaking it out loud, saying the words out loud, talking through it, saying a prayer, saying a mantra, you know, giving it physical resonance. Yeah. All right. All right, well, I think that's about all we're going to talk about today. There's lots more. I mean, it's sextile and Neptune that is going into that deep soulful place. Uranus that wants us to climb to the next level, that wants us to, you know, break free, break out of the human dilemma, the human paradigm, into fuller potential, into fuller potentialities that we, you know, these inner planets like the Mars, that's that, you know, a divide and conquer thing. Actually, what I heard was seek and destroy. Oh, God. That Metallica song. Seek and destroy. No, that's not what, that could be this, but that's some of that lower stuff does that. What they're showing me is like a toddler, you know, a toddler, you put a toddler or a bull in a china shop, you know, in a room. When your kids are little, you got to put away all your stuff that can get broken or whatever, because, you know, they're seek and destroy, or sometimes even a new puppy, you know, that's not housebroken. Seek and destroy, hide your valuables. But that's the Aries energy. That's that enthusiastic youth. They want to see everything. They want to know everything. They want to touch everything, you know, and they just are shooting out of that rocket, you know, at full speed ahead, where this is a different kind of vibe. This is the wise elders, you know, this is the advancement of the soul, the advancement of humanity. You know, it's a different place. All are important, and all are needed, and all are part of the wheel of life. But this right now, this is coming to an end for the time being. We're going to have more Aries energy because what's happening next year, Neptune and Saturn are both moving into Aries. There'll be more Aries to come. There'll always be more of everything to come. But right at this moment, this magical moment, peace is the order of the day. Fullness, contemplation, realization. Yeah. All right. Well, the guides are coming up with some good stuff today, aren't they? All right, everybody. Hey, if you want to get in on the year ahead reading, we'll look at your chart to some degree, but we'll definitely run through all this stuff. We'll run through all the trends. I'm busy doing them. Thanks to everybody who's been ordering them. I appreciate you. It is the most popular reading of the year, and it is this kind of psychic thing. But we'll run through all this stuff, and as it pertains to your chart and any other big transits quickly, just out of the ephemeris. I'm not running, taking time to run wheels because its price is very affordable. And then second thing is, we'll go do a tarot reading, psychic tarot reading, and animal totem, which I forgot to mention, I think, in the last video. But there, you get an animal totem for the year. And the cool thing about the tarot spread, which I always tell people, you get a screenshot of that spread, and then you can use that spread as a divination tool in itself moving forward. And here's how you do it. You get a screenshot of the spread, and then you save it on your phone or whatever, and then you put it somewhere where you can first you ask your question, and then you open that spread, and it's the rock and roll tarot, so it has all the words and the colors on it, and you, without putting any thought into it, you let your eye roam, and whatever you zero in on, that can be a message. That'll be an answer to your question. And I've had so many people report back that they love it because they do that, they use it, and it's worked. And what's cool about the Rock and Roll Tarot deck, too, is there's words that you might think it says one other thing. It might look like, because you just look at is it attracted to a color or whatever, you might think it says one word and it really says another word. And I'll tell you what, those are the very best ones, because whatever you thought, that one, let's say reunion, and maybe you thought it said running, but it actually, and you look at it, it goes, oh, that says reunion. But running, the word that you thought it said, that's the word, that's the message from your guides. So always don't discount that. But anyway, so that's another kind of little bonus of this year ahead reading. You can use that spread as a divination tool in itself. So anyways, most of you are here for the astrology. I know I have some crossover, but I feel like I have kind of two different viewerships, one that are more into the astrology and one that are more into the tarot. But, it's all good. It's all part of the same thing, right? So anyways, thanks for tuning in. And I also do a weekly astrology and tarot over on Patreon. Very affordable. You get a week, all 12 signs every week. So check that out. All the information will be in the description. Don't forget, only on my website, there's people going on social media pretending to be us, different YouTubers and different readers and stuff, and then they're trying to, hey, you want to buy my deck or you want to get a reading. No, I will never do that. You have to go through my official website to get any kind of readings or whatever you want to do for me. So don't be fooled by those imposters. Don't fall for that, okay? All right, everybody. Full moon could be volatile, but it's transformative for sure, okay? Have a great one. Talk to you later. Bye.